And our next speaker is Mr. Dominic Chan, Director, Moments of Life, GovTech. As the director of the Moments of Life team, he and his team have been working on the product to transform it into a platform where citizens can experience personalized government services. Now, Dominic will be sharing about Moments of Life and outside in approach. Please put your hands together to welcome Dominic.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Hello. Hi. Thank you very much for coming this afternoon to join the StackX conference. So in the next 10 to 15 minutes, I'm going to share with you a little bit about moments of life. Very often than not, people ask me, what is moments of life? What do you mean by that, right? And like what Chao has mentioned earlier on, moments of life is something that's quite relevant to every one of us. Because unlike a carousel, unlike Grab, where people would go to them because they want to, for government services, people don't want to go to the police station for fun. People don't want to go and talk to any government officer. Very often than not, it's driven by a particular need. And this need is actually evolving from a particular moment in their life, be it giving birth to a newborn, be it somebody close at home who has just passed on. These are the times where citizens require public service the most. So when we look at it from moments of life, we ask ourselves, how can we help citizens to experience government services more seamlessly? Government offices are actually organized by agencies. But to a citizen, they may not understand that. And really, it doesn't really matter. So the question is, can we weave all the relevant services in a particular moment so that we can present it to the citizen in a very meaningful manner? So that's what we seek out to do. And in order for us to do so, we adopt the service journey methodology. Well, I use the term service journey because it's what we call it. But in the industry, people would call it service design, service blueprint, service marketing. These are common terms. And let me explain to you what it means to us, right? Service journey is a whole of government movement where we are looking at government service from a user-centric manner, an outside-in approach to make to make government service easy for citizens to consume, make it seamless, and make it relevant to them. And in order for us to do this for the whole of government and to scale, we have codified it into a 5-step methodology. Step 1, talk to the user. This is something that's very, very important because only when we talk to the user do we learn from their point of view. And that is the one that matters the most, not our point of view, but for the citizen's point of view. From there, we will walk the user journey, understand what are the pain points that they're actually experiencing. Okay, we will look at some of the things that we're not doing right, and then from there we will redesign the process. We may even look at reviewing some of our policies, okay, and improve the interaction process. And of course, whenever possible, we want to digitalize this so that actually it can be systematic and easy for citizens to access. So let me just spend 1 minute, one quick minute to give you an idea when I say service blueprint, what do I mean by that? We have a standard template that we actually use across when we work with different agencies to do a service blueprint. First, we define a particular event or particular moment. In this particular case, it's a fine print over there, but this is an example of a service map that we did for wake matters. That means somebody actually has passed on and they need to organize a funeral. So this is a very important moment for citizens. So how can we actually help them through this, right? So we identify a line of interaction, and above the line of interaction, we look at what are some of the actions that citizens need to take and some of the touch points that they have with various government agencies. From there, we also draw a line of visibility underneath the line of interaction because there are front stage actions where the citizen can actually witness and see what we are doing, and there are also backstage actions. And these are things that they don't see, but it actually affects their experience. Next, we look at the jobs to be done, and we segment them so that we actually can identify and we can be very focused in designing these jobs, okay? And this is the interesting part, where we speak to different users, different citizens, and we identify their pain points. From there, when we learn, then we can actually improve their experience. So this is just basically what I meant by service journey. Service journey and moments of life work hand in hand. And we actually have delivered a lot of tangible benefits over the first few service journeys that we have done. I will use the MOL families, Moments of Life families, which is an app that we actually pushed through about a year ago. This app seeks to weave together childbirth registration and the application of the baby bonus together in one seamless step. Right? Together with that, there are also other associated services such as search for childcare, checking of a child's immunization record, and stuff like that, that all presented together in one same location. So that is the moments of life for families. So what did we do? We actually have 11 government agencies involved in this project. We interviewed over 200 citizens, and we integrated 17 systems, 70 government systems together, linking through 30 APIs. The result of that, okay, there's been an increased convenience for citizens. The number of application or number of fields that they need to fill in the application has reduced from over 100 to about 62. So there's a lot of time saved for citizens, right? And the time taken to register has reduced from 60 minutes to about 15 minutes. And this is actually not just about improving, because from the data or for the adoption, we can see, we finished or we completed launching across all hospitals 2 months ago. And in the last 2 months, approximately 48% of childbirths actually are registered through the app. We have also increased discoverability of some of the services. 97,000 searches for preschools have been performed on our app so far, and over 10,000 checks of immunization records. There's also increased awareness for citizens because there's a lot of information cut on activities that are relating to childcare or kids activities, right? And we have over 100,000 info cards being retrieved by users till now. So these are maybe just small numbers for a start, but bearing in mind, we're only talking about one particular moment in life. We have multiple moments that we experience, and just with one moment, we are starting to gain good traction. For the business front, we also have taken a similar approach. For the food service business, we actually look at license application, very, very narrow scope. But the reason is because we want to learn from this experience. We want to see if we can do better in this aspect. And same thing, 16 agencies were involved, 41 businesses were actually involved in doing testing. We have integrated 11 systems, and we have linked in through 17 APIs. What did we achieve from there? We actually reduced the number of fields that a business need to fill in when they need to apply for various licenses across different agencies from over 800 to under 100. Because we eliminated a lot of repetitive fields, we use the mindful business and we auto-fill some of the data for citizens, for users, so that it's easier for them to actually complete the transaction. The number of days taken to complete all license application has reduced between 10 to 14 days, depending on the complexity. So this actually helped businesses to start off faster. There is a self-assessment flow, so this actually helps them to determine the license that they need more accurately, and they don't have to apply for redundant licenses that are actually not relevant to what they are doing. And this increased awareness has helped some businesses have some cost avoidance. Sometimes what we realize is that there are certain type of licenses that they actually don't even need to, but because due to poor awareness of what they have or what they don't have, they end up just applying. And based on early estimation, we think that the businesses can save up to about $500 just by avoiding some of the unnecessary licenses. So, with more service journeys coming on board, the next question we ask ourselves, because I mentioned earlier on that in the 5-step codified process, we're going to digitalize as where applicable. The question is, do we digitalize everything? And if we digitalize everything, are we going to have apps for every single moment? If we do that, this is what will happen. Okay, currently, for the whole of government, we have about 175 apps. And these are useful apps, don't get me wrong. But if we continue to have more and more moments, we'll proliferate this landscape to something that is quite unimaginable. I tried to download as many apps as possible to learn from them. I couldn't fit all of them into my phone. So of course, the question now is, then what's next? What can we do if we want to be aggressive about it? As what Chao Ho mentioned just now, we as a citizen, we as an individual, we experience multiple moments concurrently, right? We are husband, I am a husband, I'm a son to my parents, I'm an NS man, okay? I'm also a working adult. So all these moments are happening concurrently as we move through life. So let me explain it this way, right? If there are many different small services that the government agency have, being represented by each of these tiles in the diagram, as we move through different stages in life, basically we will be touching some of these services at different stages, and we will be experiencing them in bundles. So the question is, how can we actually personalize this and make this easier for citizens to consume? So what if, okay, what if we have an app that is built on a catalog of moments, all these moments gathered together, that changes across little by little as we go through different stages of life, and being presented in a way that is relevant, that is meaningful to all of us. Personalization, that is actually what we strive to do. So one app, many experience, presenting things that are only relevant to individuals whenever there is. Okay? By having a common app with one visual layout, basically what we are saying here is that we can have a personalized dashboard. So in these two wireframe that you see here, the earlier one in blue, that's probably a young gentleman who is actually working adult, going through national service at the same time, as opposed to an elderly lady who actually will be interested in activities relating to community workout and stuff like that. Okay, so these same app will appear differently based on different personas. And how do we know that? Because we have citizens' basic information in MyInfo. So if they were to log in with SingPass, we must be able to curate a set of services that's actually relevant to them and serve to them meaningfully. How do we do that? We need to have an anticipatory engine, okay? We need to have data analytics. And we need to have good API connection back to various agencies so that we can perform quick transactions at the same time. Because just by providing information is not enough. As Chao Ho mentioned earlier on, we have to move a step further to make transactions easy for citizens to do all together at the same time. So, to end off, I want to explain, right? Moments of Life app will evolve from what you see now here in the Moments of Life of families into an app that is personalizing services for citizens regardless of whatever age group based on their profile. And to add on, we are not limiting the services to just government services, because if we say we want to be truly user-centric, we have to look beyond that. An example, for Moments of Life families, what we did was that we realized that in the process of applying for baby bonus, one of the steps actually got nothing to do with the government, and that's applying for a child development account with a bank. So what we did was that we worked with local banks, and then we integrate part of their services into the entire string of services so that the experience can be user-centric. So the user don't have to feel that they have to go to different places to get the same task completed. So that is our ambition. That's what we want to do with all of you today. Okay, I would love to reach out to various private sector to also find out if there are things that a citizen will be working, or rather experiencing government services with bits and pieces of private service sectors, businesses, services in between, those are opportunities for us to collaborate with you so that together we can build a better user experience for all Singaporeans. Thank you very much.